I thought I was going to be able to present you guys with a much better video today. They will be coming soon, but nonetheless, I believe my information that I want to talk about with this Brexit, in my opinion, and what I think everyone's opinion should be about what's going on in this Brexit and England. They're breaking away from the European Union, and I've seen, quite a few people that I normally follow, and some people are going down these huge um, rabbit hole conspiracy theory things. And for me, from what I'm seeing from this, is just basically there's just a couple of things here that people need to understand about this. Okay, Brexit shows a global desire to throw bombs out. And this is from Time Magazine, okay? And I'm not really going to go into what all of this is, but this headline here basically reiterates what a lot of these tweets and comments and stuff were coming out about this whole Brexit thing, like this one I'm going to show you over here, which I think is important. Right here from Piers Morgan. Remain fought a shockingly diluted campaign, refused to engage properly with immigration debate, insisted it was about economy. It wasn't. And that's what I think all of the viewers who are keeping an eye on this thing, this is what I think people need to understand. There was, I think most most Brits understood that breaking out of the European Union, on one hand, they knew it was going to hurt the pound and it was going to drop, and it did drop quite a bit. But they also realized that they were going to have to quit paying money to all these other countries who weren't putting in their fair share. Okay? But keeping this in mind, once again, this tweet right here points out two very important facts. And what this is saying is they didn't care. They're willing for the pound to suffer. They're willing to lose some money. Okay? Because they want a stop to immigration. Up until, and this is just the reality that y'all need to understand. A while back I did a video, and y'all can go back and look it up, or y'all can go look up your own information. But for the most part, up until, I would say, right around the time, maybe a couple of years after the European Union was formed and England joined, most boys there had pretty common British names. And at some point since that time happened until now, the number 5 most popular name for a boy in England is Mohammed. Right? It's Mohammed. Now we've got the news every day banging the crap out of the drum saying, be afraid of ISIS, be afraid of ISIS. Even when this dude claimed he was attacking for ISIS, but really it was more like a gay on gay thing. But that's neither here nor there. But you got all the media saying, hey, everybody be afraid of these Middle Eastern dudes. And then they start mass flooding all these countries with all these Middle Eastern dudes. And then all of a sudden, just by pure coincidence, all these countries start getting hit by terrorist attacks all the time. But that's just a big ass coincidence. So this was not about money. They knew they were going to lose money. They're not thrilled about losing money, but they're a lot less thrilled by getting blown up by somebody named Mohammed, right? Because look, y'all be like, oh, he's being prejudiced or racist against the name. But come on. You got everybody in the world telling us we got to be afraid of these people worldwide while they're shipping their little Middle Eastern army around to go create chaos. So any of y'all who have a problem with me bringing up the facts, I'm sorry. This is what it's about. Now, let's not forget the first line in this thing. Remain. The people who wanted to remain a part of the European Union fought a shockingly diluted campaign. They were forcing out mass propaganda. Mass propaganda that Remain was going to win by a bunch. They were letting people who worked in the polling offices go out and pass out leaflets on why they should be able to remain, with all this information about why it was good for England to remain and for people to vote Remain. People who worked at the polling stations and wore shirts that said Brexit were told that they had to leave and had to be several hundred yards away from the polling stations unless they took off their Brexit stuff. This is the kind of propaganda they were using. And to make it worse, they were handing everybody pencils so they could try to control the vote. But even with all of that done, it still didn't work. Brexit won by by almost 4%. And what they've done with this vote, which is another sentiment here that I think we can all relate to, is what they've done is they've just single-handedly split Britain straight down the middle, just like they did in America. I find that pretty interesting, don't you? Now, I don't really... Maybe some of you guys who are British or whatever have some kind of a better sentiment of what's going on over the pond. Obviously, I'm American. I'm here in Texas, and I hear bits and pieces of stuff about what's going on there. Now, I know Germany's having some crazy problems over there. But I never realized that things were as bad as Britain as they are. And this event right here, it divided the country straight down the middle, just like they did here. And the people stood up and said, we're not going to let the European Union / the United Nations decide the fate of the world and the fate of our country. This is our land. And they stood up, just like they're standing up in America. It's not up for them to decide our fate. It is not up for the elite to decide our fate. It is up to us. And I got to say, after I saw what was going on there and all this hype and propaganda that they were putting behind how Remain was just going to slaughter Brexit, nope. And I look at what's going on in our country, and apparently America is so committed to whatever it is, this process they got going on with the United Nations, that apparently all of our investors betted all this money that England was going to stay in. So now, on top of what we're going to already lose because of the devaluation of the pound dropping like a brick, but we lost all these monies placing all these bets on it on all sorts of other areas. Why? But not only that, got to make you look at Donald Trump, right? Because you got the media banging the crap out of the fact that he can't win the Republican nomination. They're banging the crap out of the fact that Hillary's going to beat the crap out of him. You know, he doesn't have a chance. He's this crazy psycho. You know, even InfoWars had a story the other day about how his speech that he had the same day as this whole Brexit thing was going on was phenomenal, and everybody compared it to an episode of InfoWars. They compared Donald Trump's speech to an episode of InfoWars. Now, regardless of what you think about the information they're putting out over there, that's not my point. My point is, all these people who used to be conspiracy theorists is turning out to be 40, 50, 60% of the nation. And they're no longer conspiracy theorists, but they're actually people who can actually have the intelligence to see what's going on right in front of them and are actually willing to do something about it. So it sounds to me like there's mass propaganda going against Donald Trump, just like there was mass propaganda going against people who were going to vote Brexit. So, but don't misunderstand, right? I firmly believe whatever this crap that's going on with the UN and the EU and this global agenda thing, Britain stood up today and they bitch slapped them hoes. Straight up bitch slapped them. This is not just a great day for Britain. This is a great day for the world. And what's going on in Britain is going on here. It's going on in Germany. Everybody's getting divided because most of the people are waking up and realizing the truth, while other people just want to stay their own little liberal, libtard slave selves. So, liberty comes at a price. Britain is paying that price right now. The pound is as low as it's been since 1984. But it was a price they were willing to pay. They will rebound. They will make new trade deals. Everything's going to be all good. This is Britain we're talking about. Okay, this isn't some little third world crap country. This is England. They will rise up and they will be all good again. But hopefully, people who believe in the truth and believe in liberty and believe in freedom can see this and realize, hey, maybe we shouldn't believe the propaganda. They're telling us that nothing could change and Hillary's still going to be president and all of this stuff. Don't believe it. It's all propaganda. And if you go out and you do what's right and we unite and we do the right thing, we can turn this stuff around, y'all. Don't fall for that libtard propaganda crap. We will rise up together and we will get past it. And that's what I think every American needs to be aware of about the situation in Britain and how it very much so pertains to us and the rest of the world and the fight against these evil elite people who think they control and own us. You guys take care. Hopefully I gave y'all something interesting to think about, and I will talk to y'all soon.